Ava led a life split between two very different worlds. By day, she sold fish at the local market, a modest, honest trade, but by night she transformed into the midnight dancer at a club owned by her dear friend Faye. Though Ava sometimes wrestled with guilt over the nature of her nocturnal work, the extra money was vital. It not only paid her own bills but also helped support her family's mounting expenses for medications, market stall fees, and her siblings' education. Determined to maintain a semblance of dignity, Ava set one non-negotiable rule. While the drunken patrons could ogle her all night long, no one was ever allowed to touch her. At the club, under pulsating lights and a haze of flashing colors, Ava took to the stage in minimal clothing that left little to the imagination. Her specialty was pole dancing, a skill she had painstakingly honed to captivate the crowd. Every night, as she performed with fluid grace around a gleaming stainless steel pole, the audience's eyes followed her every move. On one such night, among the sea of familiar faces, Ava noticed a group of three men in sharp business suits. One man, in particular, sat in the center, his gaze fixed on her with an intensity that made her pulse quicken. In a bold moment of defiance and allure, Ava approached their table and planted a light kiss on his cheek, drawing cheers from the assembled onlookers. Though the rush of the performance left her heart racing, it also stirred something deeper, an inexplicable attraction to this mysterious man. Later, in the privacy of the dressing room, Faye teased Ava about the unexpected kiss. "I thought you never allowed anyone to cross that line," Faye remarked. Ava, still flushed from the encounter, admitted that she did feel something for the man, even if she worried he might see her as little more than a plaything. Little did she know, this encounter was about to change the course of her life. After her performance that night, the man, who introduced himself as Hunter Montgomery, sought her out in a quiet corner of the club. His refined manner and husky voice immediately set him apart from the usual clientele. As they spoke, Hunter revealed that he was not interested in merely enjoying her public performances. Instead, he proposed something far more personal. He wanted her to leave the club and dance exclusively for him. He promised to triple her earnings, an offer that was hard to resist given her family's constant financial struggles. Even more intriguingly, Hunter explained that a medical condition prevented him from physical intimacy, so he needed only her artful dance and captivating presence. Unsure whether to trust his intentions, Ava nonetheless agreed to consider the proposition. The idea of leaving behind a life where she was objectified by countless strangers and instead performing for one man held a dangerous allure. Over the following days, Ava continued her routine at the market, all the while mulling over Hunter's offer. By night, however, she began meeting him in a more intimate setting, a sleek, upscale hotel room that had been transformed into a private stage, complete with its own stainless steel pole. There, under soft, ambient lighting and the quiet strains of music, Hunter's presence made the air crackle with anticipation. He urged her not merely to perform a dance, but to recapture the raw seduction of that very first night. With nerves tempered by excitement, Ava danced for him, her movements carrying a blend of artistry, vulnerability, and a longing to be seen as more than just an entertainer. The performance quickly gave way to a passionate encounter. In the intimacy of that private room, their connection deepened from a mere exchange of glances to a physical intimacy that neither had anticipated. Hunter's hands, gentle yet insistent, and his soft, assuring words blurred the lines between a business arrangement and a genuine romance. Even as their bodies entwined in a fervor that both thrilled and scared her, Ava's mind raced with thoughts of her reputation and the judgments of a society that still clung to archaic ideas about a woman's purity. As the weeks passed, their clandestine meetings evolved into a full-blown romance. Hunter's world, once marked by isolation and the burden of his condition, began to fill with warmth and affection. In the quiet aftermath of their passionate encounters, he would whisper assurances that he saw her not as a commodity, but as the woman he loved. Yet, beneath the passion lay an undercurrent of tension. Ava was painfully aware that society would never fully accept a woman with her past, and the very thought of her family's disapproval haunted her. This fear was realized one fateful evening when Ava's family became entangled in the complexities of her new life. Her parents, who had always struggled to make ends meet, learned more about her secret nights at the club through photos that painted a picture they found difficult to reconcile with the daughter they knew. The confrontation was heartbreaking. Her father, voice heavy with disappointment and concern, demanded that she explain herself. Ava, caught between her commitment to her family and the undeniable pull of her heart, tearfully professed her love for Hunter and her reasons for dancing. In a tender yet painful moment, Hunter stepped forward to defend her character, insisting that Ava was far more than the shallow stereotype her parents feared. Despite the raw emotions, both families were forced to confront their prejudices. Hunter's own parents had their reservations, worried about the implications of his relationship with a woman whose past did not align with their social expectations. But as they listened to Ava's earnest apologies and witnessed the depth of the couple's commitment, the walls of judgment began to crumble. Amidst the familial strife, another twist arrived in Ava's life. One morning, she awoke to a sharp pain in her stomach, a pain that quickly escalated to the point where she was forced to run to the bathroom, only to find herself vomiting bitter bile. In that moment of vulnerability, as she clutched her abdomen in a mixture of dread and wonder, she realized the truth. She was pregnant. The news hit her like a tidal wave. With a blend of fear, hope, and a sudden clarity, she confided in her mother. The gentle reassurance that came with her mother's comforting words helped Ava steel herself for the changes ahead. Determined to celebrate this new chapter, Ava decided to surprise Hunter that very evening. At his penthouse, she prepared a simple but heartfelt dinner and set the stage for what she called her final dance. Aware that her pregnancy would limit her acrobatic prowess on the pole, she still managed to perform with a tenderness that spoke of both farewell to her old life and an embrace of the future. As she danced, Hunter's eyes shone with admiration and raw desire. Unable to resist, he rushed to her, and in the intimacy of that private space, they reaffirmed their love in a passionate embrace. When the moment of passion gave way to reality, Hunter's elated declaration, mixed with the promise of fatherhood, filled the room. He reassured Ava that, despite the obstacles, his love for her was unwavering and that they would face every challenge together. In the weeks that followed, the couple set about mending the strained relationships with their families. Hunter's parents, initially cautious and disapproving, gradually came to understand that Ava's sacrifices were born out of necessity and not moral failing. In a heartfelt conversation with Hunter's mother, Ava admitted her imperfections but vowed to be the loving wife and caring mother that their family needed. Their genuine affection and determination to support each other eventually won over even the hardest hearts. The culmination of these trials was a wedding that symbolized not only the union of two souls, but also the triumph of love over prejudice. On the day of the ceremony, Ava glowed in a gorgeous gown, her smile a mixture of relief and joy. Surrounded by friends, family, and even a few playful jibes from Faye, the celebration was as much a rebuke to societal judgment as it was a joyful beginning. After the vows were exchanged, the newlyweds embarked on a honeymoon in Singapore, a promise of adventure and new beginnings. Back at home, the challenges of everyday life did not vanish, but neither did the love that sustained them. Ava's entrepreneurial spirit emerged in the form of an online clothing brand, funded in part by the money she had once earned dancing privately for Hunter. This venture not only provided her with a measure of financial independence, but also allowed her to continue supporting her family. Her siblings, once burdened by financial hardships, now worked alongside her, and her parents finally enjoyed a level of security they had long been denied. 2 years later, life had settled into a gentle rhythm. Ava and Hunter's son, Sean, was nearly 2 years old, a lively, spoiled little boy adored by his doting grandparents. In their new home, framed photographs captured memories of Ava's past, one in a simple white dress from a long-ago performance, and another from the early days when Hunter had first convinced her to dance for him. Each picture told a story of struggle, passion, and ultimately, redemption. Despite all the hardships, societal judgment, family conflicts, and the constant pressures of providing for those she loved, Ava's indomitable spirit had never been broken. Every evening, as Hunter and Ava found moments of intimacy amid their busy schedules, they were reminded of the resilience that had carried them through the darkest nights. Their love had been forged in fire and tempered by time. Even in the cramped quarters of a narrow mattress or the quiet moments on a busy market day, their connection was palpable, a quiet defiance against the world that had once tried to define them by narrow standards. In the end, Ava's journey was not solely about escaping poverty or overcoming societal judgment. It was about reclaiming her self-worth and rewriting her destiny. With Hunter by her side, she discovered that true love was not about adhering to the expectations of others, but about embracing one's authentic self, even when that self was marked by past sacrifices and hard-won resilience. Their story, filled with passion, heartache, and ultimate triumph, stood as a testament to the power of determination, forgiveness, and the belief that every sacrifice, no matter how painful, could pave the way for a brighter future. Together, Ava and Hunter faced life's unpredictable challenges hand in hand. Their love story was proof that even the most tumultuous beginnings could lead to a life of fulfillment, security, and genuine happiness. A life where every whispered doubt and every sleepless night gave way to a tomorrow filled with hope, understanding, and endless possibility.